developing around Pennsylvania. What this means is that our storm system will continue moving off to the northeast, and we'll continue to see snowfall, occasionally moderate, sometimes heavy, across portions of the middle Atlantic states into southern New England. And we will see that moving off to the northeast. And here we see the satellite sort of confirming that there's still a considerable bit of cloud shield left to go. So our storm system will continue off through the evening, and we're expecting an additional 3 to 6 inches of snow, primarily north of Atlantic City, through Philadelphia, up through portions of southern New England. So overnight, we'll see those conditions just continue, where the snowfall will be coming down throughout the evening. We'll also see a mixed precipitation, possibly adding up to another inch of snow in the Washington metropolitan area. And then we'll see the snow continue for the rest of the evening. So we'll be watching it. Stay tuned for Atmospheres.
Introducing the best America Online ever. New version 7.0. It's better, faster, and easier.
It's like a click and you're connected.
7.0 is fast.
It's got all the new features. It's just so easy.
All new AOL version 7.0.
Welcome.
It's everything you love about America Online.
You've got mail.
I'm falling in love with the new features. 7.0 is the best.
America Online, new version 7.0. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE. You can sign up for AOL or get a free 7.0 disc at any of these retail stores.
Where is that?
Heartburn. Zantac 75 knows it comes in many shapes and sizes. Brought on by food or triggered by stress. But fast heartburn relief anytime always comes in this shape, this size. Zantac. When there's too much acid, Zantac quickly blocks the strongest acid trigger to relieve heartburn fast. Yet it's so gentle, you can use it anytime. Whatever the shape or size of your heartburn, remember Zantac, the shape of fast heartburn relief anytime.
We were in the islands, exploring the only volcano in the world you can bike from top to bottom. It was a place we found on Travelocity. We experienced what it was like to spend a day in the clouds.
Great trips stay with you forever. On Travelocity, we'll show you a calendar of choices for the price you want. Because a great fare isn't great if it's not available when you are. Travelocity. Go virtually anywhere.
Atmospheres continues with your host, meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Welcome back to Atmospheres. I'm Jim Cantori. On the morning of June 9th, 2001, Houston, Texas is literally underwater. The remnants of Tropical Storm Allison have unleashed record rainfall, and the Coast Guard has been called to the rescue. We pick up our story with 15-year-old Monique Shepard, who is about to give birth in her home. It's 7:30 on Saturday morning, and Houston residents are waking up to the horrors left behind by remnants of Tropical Storm Allison. The rain has stopped for the moment, but floodwaters are 5 feet high in some areas. Thousands of people are homeless. Thousands more need to be rescued. Coast Guardsmen Matt Sisson and Chris Monville fly north to the Aldine area, one of the hardest hit, with up to 12 inches of rain.
We came upon a neighborhood where we saw people on their rooftops all waving to us for help. So I hover taxied over there and looked down and saw a number of people all frantically waving for us and pointing at a house.
And somebody on the ground started signaling up to us that like they were pregnant or they were cradling a baby.
The chopper hovers, and Chris is lowered 120 feet to the murky floodwaters below.
You know, you had to walk through the water kind of cautiously because you don't know what was underneath the water at all.
He wades through waist-deep water into a home. There, he discovers 15-year-old Monique Shepard, who is in labor.
Monique was laying on the couch in the fetal position, and the floor of the house was flooded, and the carpet was, things were floating around.
We want to know
about getting her out of the house and getting her to a hospital. And he said he could take her, but Monique said no, she didn't want to go.
I was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Mom was like, well, you have to go. You can't stay here.
Monique is in immense pain. Her contractions only 5 minutes apart, but she's terrified of being hoisted into the helicopter.
And I was also scared because it was like this little string that was attached to the basket. I'm thinking, the string doesn't break.
And I held her hand and told her, you know, it's going to be okay. It'll be about a 60-second ride, and you'll be up in the helicopter. And I said, and I will be up there right after you.
Chris and Monique's father convince her to climb into the basket.
And as the basket was going up, I was clutching the side of the iron rail so hard, and I was just crying.
Once she's safely inside, the helicopter speeds to a nearby hospital. Most of greater and downtown Houston is underwater. But the area around the Foundry United Methodist Church is relatively dry. Amanda Sudam waits inside, still hoping to get married at 1 o'clock. The preacher is there, so is the organist, and many of the guests. But others are missing, including the groom.
At this point, I wasn't giving up on this wedding. I was still going to try. I was going to show up to see if anybody was there.
Earlier that morning, Amanda's fiancé, Chris Rizzo, had called to tell her that he was being evacuated from his parents' flooded house. He was stranded 6 miles away from the church with no way to get there.
The phones end up going out not too long after we had that conversation. Nothing worked, cell phones or landline or anything.
I didn't know where Chris was or if he was going to even make it to the church at that point.
Just minutes before the wedding is scheduled to begin, Chris catches a break. A school bus is evacuating the neighborhood. He and his family hop on board.
Our church just happened to be on the way, and we told the driver to, pull over and let us out.
He arrives in the nick of time.
So I ended up showing up at church with the cat and the dog and, a couple garbage bags full of clothes.
It's not the exact wedding they had envisioned, but the ceremony is everything they hoped for.
Once the wedding took place, I felt a lot better, and it made me happy. And I realized we made the best out of what could be of the situation.
We both said it doesn't matter what I get married in, whether I'm soaking wet in shorts, because that's what I pulled up in, or we found a tux. But I was just happy it ended up going through.
It's probably one of the most joyous weddings I've performed all year, and I do maybe 2 or 3 almost every weekend. So it was an exciting wedding.
The scene around the rest of Houston is less hopeful. Bob Stolting, helicopter pilot for the local CBS affiliate, can't believe his eyes.
I've lived here in Texas since 1968. I've been flying around the city since 1982, and I have never seen anything to the magnitude that this was.
Probably the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is we have never seen water this high. Now, you look down there, and that water does not look like it's very treacherous, but I can guarantee you that underneath that surface, there is an unbelievable current.
As the day progressed, and every time we thought that we couldn't see anything worse, the further east we got and the further northeast we got, which is where they got the brunt of the storm, every time we'd hit another neighborhood, we'd see conditions worse than even we'd seen before.
All over town, people whose houses are now flooded are pouring into Red Cross shelters.
There we go. Thank you.
Thousands of pounds of clothes are handed out, while food is driven to flooded neighborhoods.
You got silverware at home? Okay.
Preliminary numbers were approximately 60,000 claims were made in the greater Houston area for Red Cross assistance of some type or another.
Firefighters are using boats to rescue people in the streets.
Wonderful, easy new way to say goodbye to it. The hair off facial buffer.